Hello and welcome back to Sherwood Park Toyota. Today we're looking at a Toyota Land Cruiser Premium in the color white. Let's take a look. Starting up front, underneath the hood you have the gas components of the hybrid energy system. It is a turbocharged iForce Max 2.4 liter L4 engine. It is automatic transmission. Gets up to 326 horsepower, 465 pound-foot of torque, towing capacity up to 6,000 pounds. Up front, you've got your LED headlamps, daytime running lights, and then your dual-toned Rigid Industries fog lamps down below. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but there is, in fact, the Rigid Industries logo inside of these fog lamps. They are dual-toned because, as you can see, they are currently a yellow hue, but you're able to change them to be the same matching white color as your headlamps. Keep an eye at the end of the video, and we will change them back so that you can see them when we do our final walk-around. Across the front bumper here, you've got the little round nodules. These guys are your front parking sensors. And all the way up front to the bottom there is your front-facing camera. Over to the side here, you have 18-inch dark alloy wheels. Of course, you've got the running boards. Side mirrors with integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring, and additional cameras on the sides and bottom that contribute to the surround view camera effect. Taking a look at either one of your front handles, you'll find this little dimple on the outside corner. We'll talk about that more on the driver's side. Heading back, all your rear windows come with factory tinting, and up top you've got black roof rails. Now on the back of the unit, just like up front, you have backup parking sensors all the way across. Left-hand side you have your Land Cruiser badge. Right-hand side you have the iForce Max Hybrid badge. And underneath your Toyota logo is your backup camera. To open up your space, there are two different ways. One is quick and easy. You can go to the bottom left-hand corner of your windshield, give a press on that little button. The glass will pick itself up a little. You can use the handle underneath here to lift it the rest of the way. This gives you quick, easy access inside of here, or a little bit of extra wiggle room for any cargo you have in the back. If you look up top, you also find this little camera here. We'll talk about the purpose of this guy a little bit further along when we're up front in the cab. To close it up, don't be shy. Just reach up and pull it back down into its starting position. Make sure you get it all the way in there and is not loose. Then to actually open up the rest of the cargo space, reach in underneath of your rear logo, press the button, and it should automatically rise upwards. Inside here, you'll find your second row seating has a 60-40 split on the left-hand side. This allows the two sides to function independently. There are controls on the inside for the handle there, which we can take a look at when we get up front into that space. Then you'll find extra storage space and those glowing charger ports in the back here on each side. Then on the front ends here, you'll find interior lighting. You can find underneath each one of these hooks up front. Down below, you'll be able to find this 12-volt adapter on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you have two different false wall panels. The top one here is where you have access to your toolkit for your spare, which is mounted on the underside of the unit. Under that is where you have access to your battery. To gain access into this space, go underneath here. You'll find a series of these false floor panels, such as this guy up front, which you can use for further storage capacity. We do have a video showing you more in depth on how to access into this battery space specifically. Now, across the back of the floor space itself, as well as rolled up in the back here, we have both a rubber and carpeted cargo space mat. So this guy has two jobs. First off, it helps protect your vehicle from damage from the cargo. It is made of this nice, thick, durable rubber, and as you can see, it also has this texturing on it, which not only provides a layer between your cargo and the vehicle itself, but has a little bit of extra texture, so things aren't going to be slip-sliding around as much. Secondly, it helps to keep your space nice and clean. You can easily pick this up and remove it out of the space, rinse or shake any dirt or debris off of it, and then pop it back in to keep everything clean and tidy. There are also covers here that go across the back of your second row seats that are simply attached with Velcro, so they're equally as easy to take on and off. Inside here, we'll also find that we have the Land Cruiser carpeted and rubber floor mats. To close up your space back here, you can reach up to the handle on the left-hand side or press one of the two electronic buttons on the left. One will simply close, and the other will close and lock all at once. Next, let's go take a look at the inside. Inside here, your interior upholstery is the brown Softex leatherettes. You have this light gray stitching on the seats themselves. In between the two sides, there is a folding down armrest / cup holder. You can easily pop this up and away if you would like to increase your seating capacity. Then, looking forward on the back of your front passenger and front driver seats, you've got pouch storage. Back of the console, you'll first off find the Land Cruiser badge stamped in. Then down below is where you have your third zone air conditioning control panel. This allows your second row occupants to control their own temperature, mode, and fan speed. This can be controlled from up front. We'll take a look at that when we're up there. Down below you have all of your charger ports. Then adjustments for the seat themselves. You can see this little logo that is down below. If you look inside, you'll find this little handle. So you can easily single-handedly lift this upwards. And then you have full access to fold your seat up. You can use this to get into your space or provide yourself extra room for cargo needs. You can also choose to just have it laid down flat in the typical second row seat folding style, if that is what you would prefer instead. Looking in the door, you've got your storage spaces here, power window control, and one of your JBL speakers. You have this premium JBL speaker sound system all throughout your unit. Now, back again to this little dimple. This guy indicates keyless entry. So if you have the key fob on your person, you can tap your hand on top of here or inside of your handle to lock and unlock your unit. Inside the door, power windows here for both front and back. You've got your window lock, power lock system, and side mirror controls. Up top, this is controls to fold the side mirrors and flat with the body of your unit. You can keep it set to auto, then it will fold and unfold when you lock and unlock with the key fob, or you can manually adjust these guys at any point in time. Then you have your memory seat settings here, which of course means you have electronic seat adjustment, back, front, up, down, and lumbar support. Hood release latch on the bottom left-hand corner of your dash. On top of that, trailer brake controls, and you have controls for your AC 120 volt power trunk release and gas release. Up top, you have it for the automatic headlamps, rear parking sensors, your dash brightness, and then you have your fog lamp colors. So as you can see, it is orange, which coordinates with the yellow lights. If you give it a press, it will turn white instead. So we'll keep it left on that setting so that when we do our final lap around the unit, you can see the change of the headlamps for yourself. Lastly here, we have the power, tilt, and telescopic steering wheel controls. Taking a closer look at the steering wheel, this guy is black leather with black stitching. Up top, you have your paddle shifters, and then you'll find this little glossy black space up front. This guy is a built-in safety feature. It tracks your eye movement, so if you take your eye facing away from that little strip, it will instead put a little flash. That way it draws your attention back facing forward. On the left-hand side on the steering wheel, you have controls here for your dash display. Then you have your hands-free communication and the volume control. Right-hand side, radio controls on the bottom, adaptive cruise control up top, which includes sonar and lane departure. Built on top here, you'll find this little cutout. Then if you look directly forward, you'll find some metrics being displayed. This is your built-in heads-up display. It allows you to keep your eyes on the road while also keeping an eye on some of your pertinent information. You can have a few different things displayed up here, but most typically it includes your speedometer. You also have the distancing for the sonar spacing of the adaptive cruise control. That way you don't have to be looking up and down constantly. You can look forward and see everything you need to see all at once. Into the center here, you've got your infotainment display screen. This is where you go to access much of the information about your daily driving experience. Right now we're looking at the settings. In here you have access to everything from personal profile, Bluetooth information, notifications, voice and sound, you have vehicle customizing, security and info, etc. Then you've got climate in here for the front, for the back, and your options. This is your Eco Heat Cool and rear windshield deicer. You also have your trip information in here, and then lastly your off-road information. This is a cool little pictograph to keep your eyes on, especially if you do tend to take your vehicle off-trail a lot. Just allows you to keep an eye on some really cool things going on with your vehicle. Lastly, in the center here, up top, this is where you have your Bluetooth connectivity for your personal device. You would also use this for hands-free communications. On top of that, is audio listening, AM, FM, and satellite radio. You have full Bluetooth connectivity, which includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and there's optional USB adapters throughout the unit. All the way at the top is where you have your optional navigation. You can choose to connect this through Toyota Connected Services. Left-hand corner is your volume, in the middle is your four-ways, and then you have your climate control center. We have dual climate control up front here, meaning driver and front passenger can either have unique temperatures, or you can sync them up so they work together in unison. You also have controls here for the rear settings, so you can manipulate this for them, or choose to have it synced up with the front. On each side we have 3 levels for both heated and cooled seats. The red is for the heat, blue is for the cool. On the right-hand side, next to the passenger settings, you have your heated steering wheel controls. You can turn it on and off there. To the left, you have your defrost for front and your rear windshield. Left of this is your push-start ignition, and then you have your tow haul mode. Back to the center, you have your surround view cameras here. If you give that a press, your Infotainment will turn to this surround view look of your vehicle. You can also change the perspective to get higher or lower from the unit itself, and you can pause it at any point in time to continue it facing its current direction. More adjustments for this in the bottom left-hand corner. To get rid of this screen, you can press the same button you did to bring it up, or the X here in the top left-hand corner. Underneath that is where you have your charger and adapter ports. You have this wireless charging pad on the right-hand side. It has this built-in tray design here, which ensures any phone placed in there will be nice and secure and it won't be slip-sliding around. Having this feature means you don't have to worry about having charging cords on your person ever again, although, of course, if that is your preference, you do have plenty of adapters available to use. You've got a little bit more storage on the left of that. Then you have your mode select in the center here. You have your drive mode, MTS, and downhill/crawl. You've got gear shift in the center here, parking brake and parking hold, traction control, your stab bar, mid and rear diff locks, 2-wheel 4 high and 4 low controls. Then cup holder spaces and the console. So this guy opens up. Looks a little bit different from your typical console space because you will notice this little guy. It says cool box. So if you give that a press, the light turns on, and there is in fact cool air flowing inside of this space, which effectively turns your middle console into its own tiny refrigerator. So anybody who really values having a cold drink on their drives, this is a great feature to have built in. If you don't want to be using it for that purpose, you do not have to. You can simply turn it off. There is no airflow, and it works for normal storage. To the right-hand side and down below, there is a lockable glove box. Up overhead on the rearview mirror, 1, 2, and 3 dots there. Those guys are garage door openers. Then you have your normal reflective rearview mirror, but if you flip the switch, it will turn to a camera view behind yourself instead. This can be really great for anybody who is used to driving with either cargo or passengers that are being a distraction in the back there, or even partially, if even filling fully the vision that you have behind yourself of traffic. If that's a problem you face it no more. You can flip the switch here, and instead you're able to keep an eye on traffic as you are meant to without having to look through the distractions of the cab in order to accomplish this. This takes advantage of that little camera that you see when we flip up the glass panel of the rear windshield there, and that way you're able to see directly behind yourself. On top here, this is where you have access to your SOS button, overhead lighting controls, and controls up there for the moonroof. Thanks again, folks, for joining us on this full video tour for this Toyota Land Cruiser Premium in the color white. It is located here at Sherwood Park Toyota at 31 Automall Road in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. You can also reach us at 780-306-7703. And remember, life is full of choices. Let us be yours.